I want to welcome you to our 2020 virtual Zoowalk for Autism Research. Thanks so much for joining us on an early morning. I'm Professor Adams from ASU. And what I want to do is share with you some of what we're going to cover today. So we just heard the Jungle Jams from Debbie's Mindful Music Therapy team. And I want to welcome you. We have a lot of fun and interesting activities coming up. And the next thing we're going to cover is birthday with some orangutans at the Phoenix Zoo.
Hey everybody, we are missing you a ton. So sorry you can't be here for your walk. I know you're here every single year and we miss you. They miss you, trust me. My name is Jessica. I am one of the primate keepers here at the Phoenix Zoo. And we have crazy orangutans all around me. You actually are getting a little recording from Jiwa's birthday. He is 6 years old today. He is actually interacting right now with his awesome enrichment that some volunteers have made for him for his 6th birthday. He got a tofu birthday cake today, which he is right now chewing and smashing into the glass. So very excited for this video you get to watch here coming. So Jiwa is 6. We have his dad, right? We also have our 2 other orangutans, Daniel and Rayma. Dan is 14 and Rayma is 15. They're hanging out on the other side because 2 adult males don't necessarily get along. And because Mike's over here, Dan's gonna stay on that side. So we miss you. We can't wait until 2021 when we can see all of your faces. You have the whole family here hanging out, ready whenever you guys get a chance to come back. So you are missed, and thank you so much for supporting the Phoenix Zoo and your awesome cause. Thank you.
So I hope you enjoyed seeing the orangutans having their little birthday party with their tofu birthday cake. And now let's continue. So next up, I want to introduce a very special artist to you, Chris Meyer. Chris has loved drawing and animals and putting those together for drawing animals since he was a small boy. He's done drawings for t-shirts, event programs, and commissions in Indiana, California, and Arizona. He made this wonderful t-shirt drawing, which is going to go on our t-shirt. So everyone who registers will get a t-shirt with Chris's fantastic drawing on it. Chris, would you like to go ahead and say a few words?
Sure. Hello, I'm 29 years old. I am, as you can see, I'm autistic as well. And I've been drawing animals and even my own characters since I was a little boy. I am looking forward to presenting these t-shirts in 3 to 4 days and weeks. So I hope I'll get to be there.
Great, thank you so much, Chris. I'm just so impressed looking at these drawings you made. I'm a very simplistic drawer myself, and just looking at the tremendous detail you have for each one of the animals, and they all look so happy and like they're having a great time. So thank you very much for contributing this drawing. And again, anyone who registers for the Zoowalk will receive one of these wonderful t-shirts. We'll send you an email to get your t-shirt size, and we'll have those t-shirts ready for you in 3 to 4 weeks. So next up is, we have a special guest, Suzanne McCain. Suzanne's son was the benefit of to participate in one of our treatment studies on Microbiota transplant. So Suzanne, can you go ahead and share your story with us?
Yes, good morning, Phoenix Autism community. David is a couple years in after starting the Microbiota transplant. His digestion has become completely stable and is not an issue for him any longer. And the healing of the gut health resulted in some amazing transformations. David was able to attend his sister's wedding, and the entire reception and tolerate all of the people and all of the noise. He typically would not be able to do that for longer than 5 or 10 minutes, and he stayed for the entire thing. I've seen improvements, tremendous improvements in his communication skills, and even in his handwriting skills, significant improvement. After the study, once we were well into it and saw that he was having such significant improvements, he was also able to go to work at Fry's. So now David is a frontline worker at the Fry's at Thompson Peak, and you can see him there any day, and he's doing great. He also recorded, we both recorded for a PBS show to talk about the significant benefits of the transplant. That has not proceeded once COVID began, but we hope that we can pick that back up, and maybe we'll have additional information to share. But I would encourage anyone who has the opportunity to be a part of one of the ASU studies to do so. It was significant, really significant. And we're really grateful to you, Dr. Adams, and we're grateful for the support of the autism community. So I hope everybody stays safe this winter.
Thank you so much, Suzanne.
Sure, anytime.
So we just want to thank everyone who's helped to fund the research at ASU. And this is just one of many treatment studies we've done, but in many ways, one of our most successful, to see benefits to children with autism, benefits to adults with autism. So I want to introduce you now to Elena Pollard, one of our top staff members. She's been an autism evaluator for clinical trials, for many clinical trials. And I'd like to have her share with you just some of her observations from observing changes in participants in 3 of our studies. So Elena, please take it away.
All right, hello everyone. I am so happy to be here just to share some of the findings and specifically some of the changes to autism symptoms that we've been seeing as a result of our treatment studies. I've worked with Dr. Adams for around 17 years now, and I've had the privilege of working on studies starting from our very early nutritional studies up through our microbiota transfer treatment studies. So as you know, we focus on biomedical studies where we're trying to assess the biological differences in people with autism and whether or not these types of treatments are actually impacting their autism symptoms. And therefore, we're looking at the whole quality of life. So for me, it's very exciting to hear changes. I get to actually record the behavioral data and also the autism symptoms. So I get to hear firsthand from parents, if the treatments are working and how that's impacting their quality of life. So I'm going to start talking just very briefly about our 12-month study. And so that was our nutritional treatment study where we did an array of different treatments in an attempt to kind of improve overall health and especially the nutritional deficiencies that we see in children with autism. And so I did the IQ testing and pre and post, and what we noticed in the IQ testing is actually a 7-point gain in nonverbal IQ. And you would kind of think, well, did the treatment make them smarter? Well, it's not necessarily that that's the case. What happened, I think, is what I noticed is that they were paying more attention and they were better able to focus and attend to the task. So they were actually able to show us a little bit more of their intelligence because they were actually able to focus and complete the tasks of the IQ test. Another thing that we also observed was the Vineland Adaptive Behavior Scale. So this is looking at adaptive skills like social skills, communication skills, daily living skills, and motor skills. And we actually saw in the treatment group an 18-month gain in adaptive skills versus only a 4-month gain in the control group, which is very, very significant. So for the children's MTT study, we collected the CARS, and that's the Childhood Autism Rating Scale. And that's basically a diagnostic tool that just covers all the different core symptoms of autism. And so what we noted was a 47% reduction in scores, so meaning that the autism symptoms decreased significantly. So that was at 2 years versus baseline. And so some of the things that I noticed, which I was really surprised, was a change in global symptoms of autism. So I thought there would be some improvements in a few different areas, so that's what we were hoping. And what I was surprised and we were surprised to find was a change in global symptoms. So things like improved eye contact, which really surprised me because I thought, a teenager who had never made eye contact before, you wouldn't think that those connections had been made, but we were seeing improvements in eye contact. We were seeing improvements in social initiation. So I remember a mother reporting her son had his first successful play date at 13 years old after many failed attempts to have play dates. Another reported that her son started sweeping outside every day for about an hour. And I asked why. And she said, because he wanted to say hi to all the neighbors walking by. So he'd just stand out there and pretend to sweep and sweep things up. And every time someone would walk by, he'd talk to them and try and strike up a conversation, which he had never done before. We also saw things like less repetitive behaviors. So things like hand flapping and spinning would disappear. I saw improvements in sensory sensitivity. So children who used to cover their ears and scream to different sounds just stopped doing that. And it's so on and so on. So again, it was pretty shocking to see such huge changes in the global symptoms. So then we repeated the study, the MTT study with adults now, and I've been even more surprised to see such dramatic changes because again, you'd think an entire, lifetime, 20, 30 years of not having these skills, how would they just appear by improving the gut? And so what we saw right now, I think I've completed the 18-month follow-ups for 3 out of the 4 groups, I believe. And again, the people who were responders were seeing these global changes in autism symptoms. So another huge change, along with the symptoms I mentioned before, was an incredible decrease in anxiety, which is very important because that really just translates to more flexibility, more ability to adapt to changes in the environment and their routine, improved social anxiety, which for adults with ASD, that's a huge barrier to attempting social interactions with people. So I've heard a lot of stories from parents about gaining more friendships. Several of the young men have gained some romantic relationships, which was really nice to hear. Several have gained and they're maintaining employment when they had a lot of trouble getting jobs and maintaining them before. Again, another huge reduction in repetitive behaviors, sensory issues, and then more desire to initiate socially, not just with friends, but also with their own families, which is something that was very surprising. So Suzanne just spoke a few minutes ago, and when I interviewed her son, David, the last time for our follow-up, I think the 18-month follow-up, I was honestly shocked, and I told her about it after because he was looking directly at me, which he had not done before. He had this huge smile on his face, and he used to have very flat affect. He was asking questions about my family, which again, after many, many visits with him, he had never done that. So I asked him at one point, do you feel that the treatment has made you feel better? And he said, that's the understatement of the century. He says, I feel great. He says, I feel like a cloud's been lifted and life is not as uncomfortable as it used to be. And that's pretty impactful. It's really nice to look at the data and see numbers and things that we report in our articles, but to hear these quality of life changes from the individuals and the reports from their families are really very impressive and they're really incredible. So I think, again, if we can do, our treatment studies can impact lives in that way where we're helping to just alleviate some of those uncomfortable symptoms, then I think we're doing a fantastic job and it's exciting to work on the studies. Thank
you very much, Elena, for all your work and sharing your...
Yeah, please let me chime in and say, Elena, it's been a pleasure working with you, and I'm so pleased that you were able to convey David's results so beautifully. He is just doing marvelously.
I know, it's wonderful.
He's his own young man now.
Yeah, I know, it's wonderful. It's like the symptoms were lifted, and now we get to actually see the way that they want to be, the people that they want to be in some of these real impressive responders. So it's just exciting to be able to reduce those anxieties and some of those symptoms so they could do what they want to do, have friends and get a job and just, do typical things. So it's great.
Thank you.
Thank you both very much. So what I'd like to do now is just give a quick summary of some of the current and future work going on at ASU. And again, the Zoowalk helps support all of these different studies. So as Elena mentioned, our comprehensive nutritional and dietary support study saw great improvements. The vitamin supplement that we used in that is available from our nonprofit. And this study involves several different treatments, and the 4 that seem most beneficial, we've now described in detail in our ANRC protocol. And so anyone can go there and try our step-by-step instructions, our day-by-day instructions, which are available from our nonprofit. We're currently doing or planning 3 studies to improve gut health. We've already heard about our microbiota transplant studies. The FDA has been so excited by just our first study. They've awarded us fast track status. And we hope to continue our research so we can eventually get it approved by the FDA. We've just launched a few days ago our new customized probiotic study, and I'll talk about that in just a moment. And also we're planning to a brand new study. A company we're working with has developed a brand new antibiotic that only targets the type of bad bacteria that are very common in children and adults with autism. So we're hoping to raise the money so we can do this study. This is a brand new class of antibiotics. This company has just received $18 million from NIH to use it for treating C. difficile, a very nasty gut infection. And now we just want to raise some money to use it for treating children with autism. We have high hopes. We've completed a national survey of medications and nutritional supplements. We've just published our results on a national survey of psychiatric medications. And if we had more funding, we'd have the staff to go ahead and analyze our data from thousands of families on nutritional supplements and share it with you of which supplements seem most helpful and for which symptoms. We're developing a medical test for diagnosing autism and metabolic disorders. Our test looks like it might be about 95% accurate. We're gathering more data now to validate it in larger cohorts. What's more exciting is it's telling us what is metabolically different. Does this person need more folic acid? Do they need more vitamin B12? Do they have oxidative stress? These are the types of things that will help us individualize treatment for each person and really help them become as healthy as possible. We are also just working with a new company on autoimmune and immune disorders. Many people with autism have autoimmune or immune disorders, and there's a brand new, very exciting treatment we would love to start. It's been through phase 1 studies at the FDA. It seems extremely safe. It just involves improving the health of your immune system in a very special way. So again, if we can raise money for that study, we'd love to go ahead and launch that. And then finally, we've developed an improved prenatal. This is the first prenatal that's tailored for each trimester, because each trimester you have different needs. And there's growing evidence that prenatals are very important, not just for reducing risk of autism, but also many other disorders. So in our study with Mayo Clinic, we found that mothers of children with autism were somewhat low in folic acid, but extremely low in vitamin B12. They just need much more of it. So again, we have high hopes to try to help with that as well. So I just want to touch briefly on our latest study, just announced a few days ago and open to virtually anyone who wants to. This is a customized probiotic therapy for children and adults with autism. So we invite parents and guardians of children with autism, and we invite adults with autism who are using Sun Genomics customized probiotics. We're inviting them to participate with us to evaluate their autism and gut symptoms before and after use of the probiotic, and to let us collect stool samples so we can look at the change in their gut bacteria. So Sun Genomics is a brand new company that provides a very special type of probiotic tailored for each person. What they do is they analyze your stool sample, they measure 2,300 species of gut bacteria and yeast to see what's different in that person. And then they tailor the probiotic for that person. So anyone is allowed to enroll in our study if they're between the ages of 2.5 years to 75 years of age. Basically, our what's involved in the study is just filling out a few simple questionnaires about medical history and autism symptoms and GI symptoms at the start of the study. Takes about 30 minutes. Then when they collect the vial of stool to send to Sun Genomics, just collecting one extra vial to send to ASU for us to analyze. And then every 3 months, so 3 months later, after taking the probiotic for 3 months, then again, just spending about 10 minutes assessing autism symptoms and gut symptoms, providing one more stool sample so we can see how the gut bacteria have changed. There's no cost to participate in the ASU part of the study, but families do have to pay to purchase the Sun Genomics test and probiotic, which is about $350 to do that. So you can purchase that without being part of the study, but if you purchase it, we're asking you to also enroll in our study. Just fill out those questionnaires. And then if you do, you actually get a credit from Sun Genomics. So you actually, by enrolling our study, will get a credit with them towards the cost of their incredible technology. The duration is that we ask you to, if you sign up, you'll get 3 months of the probiotic. And then if you want to continue, then you can purchase another kit and another 3 months of the probiotic and continue to share data with us. So already, so many families have applied for this study. This looks like it's going to be the largest probiotic study ever done for autism. So we have very high hopes for it. And I invite you to go to this website to learn more about it.
Dr. Adams, can I ask a question?
Please.
If David is involved in the other study, is he also allowed to take these probiotics?
He certainly is welcome to apply if he wishes to.
Okay.
Our feeling is that the microbiota transplant therapy is by far the gold standard because that involves over 1,000 bacteria.
Sure.
Very healthy, carefully screened donors. And this is what we think is the best of the probiotic studies out there.
Okay.
Tailoring it for each person.
So he would not need those probiotics.
Right.
Okay,
right.
I got you. Thank you.
A good way of thinking is the microbiota transplant study helps us figure out what's wrong. And also we doing the whole kitchen sink approach of throwing every bacteria at it. This is an approach where we're going to see what effect each of these bacteria has. This will help us improve regular probiotics and help them get closer to microbiota transplant effectiveness.
Great, thank
it's
you.
all research, so we'll see how well it proceeds. So I want to thank the many groups, the many sponsors that we have, N of One, Flore from Sun Genomics, Finch Therapeutics, the Autism Nutrition Research Center, our nonprofit that produces the vitamin mineral supplement from our study, especially Fearfully and Wonderfully Made. This parent group has provided huge amounts of funding for our microbiota transplant studies. The Pitt Hopkins Research Foundation, which Pitt Hopkins is an extremely rare, extremely severe type of autism due to a single gene disorder, and they're funding a treatment study of microbiota transplant just for their children who are so severely affected. The Autism Society of Greater Phoenix that helps us advertise many of our studies. The Autism Research Institute that we work in collaboration with. The Sullivan Foundation that made a major contribution to our microbiota transplant work. Dietary Healing Hands that is contributing to our study of mothers of children with autism. And I forgot to mention N of One is making a major contribution to look at mitochondrial problems in children with autism. So again, all these different groups are helping us, which we greatly appreciate. And so your donations are effectively amplified many times by them. So we invite you to please donate generously. We're doing a lot of research, but as I mentioned, there are a couple of studies that are on hold until we receive additional research funding. So please donate at zoowalk.org, and thank you to the many of you who have generously donated. It's the donations that we've been receiving now for 15 years that have helped us publish over 50 research studies on autism. And so thank you all very much. And now I want to turn it over to one of my staff, Jasmine Kirby, one of our newest members of our staff, who's going to walk you through about 20 Zoowalk signs. We've had a number of requests from people. Will they be able to see the signs from the Zoowalk? And so here they are. Jasmine, take it away.
Thank you. Hi, everyone, and thank you for attending the 16th annual Zoowalk for Autism Research. And then we want to give many thanks to the volunteers who help organize and run the Zoowalk each year.
Enjoy your
Professor James Adams, director of the ASU Autism Research Program, is the Zoowalk organizer. Dr. Adams, can we go back 2 slides? I'm so sorry. Yep, there it is. He has an adult daughter with autism, so this event is very special to him. Again, here's the 2020 Zoowalk t-shirt, beautifully designed by Christopher Meyer. 30 to 50% of children and adults with autism have chronic gut problems. ASU conducted highly successful treatment of gut symptoms using healthy gut bacteria. There was a 60% reduction in gut problems and 47% reduction in autism symptoms. The FDA awarded fast track status to ASU gut treatment. The ANRC Essential Plus vitamin and mineral supplement is based on ASU's research and is available from the nonprofit at www.autismnrc.org. Comprehensive nutritional intervention helps many children and adults with autism. ANRC protocol describes the top 4 nutritional treatments based on ASU research. 80% of adults with autism are unemployed. Professor Adams and Autism Society of Greater Phoenix organized 5 autism job fairs from 2017 to 2020. Autism is preventable. Folic acid taken pre-conception reduces the risk by about 40%. Professor Adams has developed an improved prenatal, which will be available soon. Zoowalk supports research at ASU and the Autism Research Institute. Professor Adams has published over 50 papers on causes of autism and treatments. A summary of nutritional, dietary, and medical treatments is available at www.adamsautismresearch.com. From 2019 to 2020, ASU studies have included gut treatments, nutritional supplements, immune system regulation, and prenatal supplements. Your donations will help ASU continue its autism research to improve quality of life for children and adults with autism.
Thank you, Jasmine. So just to conclude, I want to thank everyone for their very generous support. Donations can still be made at the Zoowalk site. T-shirts are only available if you register by the end of today, and we'll be sending you an email to request your sizes. Now, I want to invite you to please take a safe walk in your neighborhood with your old Zoowalk t-shirts. The 2020 t-shirts will be registered, will be distributed in 3 to 4 weeks to everyone who registers by the end of today. And just a special thank you from my family here. So let me go ahead and say thank you, everyone.
enjoy your Zoowalk in your neighborhood.